Oh my God, hi. Okay, so I saw the Abbey Yung method going around, and I think one of her videos was recommended to me, and I was like, I gotta watch this. So I did. For anyone who doesn't know, maybe you're new to this video, maybe you're new to me. I have been platinum blonde for like 7.5 years. There was a little blip where I went copper. Didn't last super long. Also, before, prior to, and during the copper phase, I was growing my hair out, and I had always had a very, 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 very short pixie. So I had always kind of taken for granted taking care of my hair because I would just chop it all off. You know what I mean? So like I really just didn't have to worry about damage. Once I started growing it, I was like, ooh, I gotta learn. I gotta learn some things. That's where Abbey Yung comes in. So I did a deep dive on her videos, and I highly recommend that you check her channel out. I will link her down below because she does really great, super in-depth videos, and her hair is gorgeous, like so like healthy looking. Yeah, I'm gonna be specifically talking about how I adapted her method, essentially, the things that I learned, my takeaways, especially for short hair. So if you have short hair, especially if you have a pixie, and especially if you are platinum blonde, this will be great for you. Before I get into the products, I want to talk about my takeaways. Now, I had already been introduced to bond repair. Bond repair is something that I think I was first introduced to through Olaplex. They have like a whole bond repair system. And it's not something that I necessarily like thought too much about, but essentially what bond repair does is it repairs the bonds in your hair. And it's really, really great if you have color treated hair, especially bleached hair, to prevent breakage and strengthen the actual hairs. So bond repair is number one. Abby talked about this quite a bit. I would say that the majority of her videos, like they really focus a lot on bond repair. And not as much like when it comes to hydrating products, whether it's a leave-in, like a pre-shower treatment, I don't know if she focused too much on shampoo, but post shampoo and like a post wash treatment, bond repair was there, like bond repair, bond repair, bond repair. One of the things that I want to talk about when it comes to bond repair that I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about, and she may have, and I just missed it because she has so many videos and they're very in depth, so I would be surprised if she hasn't said this at some point, is that you can overdo bond repair. You can overdo it, and I have absolutely overdone it. So we will talk about like how I fit bond repair into my routine at the end, but just know that if you are using a bond repair, only use one. Whether it is before shower, whether it's like a pre-wash treatment or a post-wash treatment, only use one, do not double up, because when you do use too much bond repair, it actually creates a protein overload in your hair, and it ends up making it like super dry and brittle, and it'll feel really rough and straw-like. So it'll actually end up doing the opposite of what you want, okay? So that's really important. And I wanted to say that like right off the bat, because I feel like I don't hear people talk that much about it. And I feel like it's something we should talk about every time we talk about bond repair. And I'm hammering it home because I am a person who tends to overdo things. So like if you are someone who is like, has a tendency to be like, oh, I just started using tretinoin and they say to use a pea-sized amount, so a nickel-sized amount must be much better. If you're that type of person, don't overdo your bond repair. I think the second and most important tip that I took away from Abbey Yung's method is treating your scalp and your hair separately. And this is a concept that had never really permeated for some reason. I always thought that I should be, especially because I have bleached hair, that I should be overly hydrating my scalp. But I have quite fine hair that tends to get oily pretty quickly. Now the bleach actually helps that quite a bit because it sort of like dries out and sort of like puffs up my individual hair strands, which makes it a little bit more dry and a little bit more like voluminous on its own. So when my hair is freshly bleached, or when, it's only been like a couple weeks since getting it done, it's not going to get greasy super fast. But when my roots have started to grow out, it gets greasy real quick, okay? So this concept of treating your scalp differently than your hair was a new concept to me. And when I finally started to practice around that information, I saw a major difference. And again, we'll get into the details once we get into the products, which is going to be in just a second. First, I just want to let you know my hair naturally is very, very fine, very, very flat. It is kind of the perfect candidate for bleach because it's very fine, so it lifts quickly. My natural hair color is like a blonde, basically, so it's not as dark as it looks. Like when when it's next to the platinum, it looks like black. My roots look black, but it's not that dark. So it lifts real quick. So I'm not sitting there with bleach on my head for like ever. And it is very, very oily naturally. So it actually is really helpful to get a little bit of that like dried out, to have my strands dried out a little bit using the bleach. Plus, because my hair is so flat, that bleach sort of like expands the individual hairs and it creates a little bit more volume. So when my hair is bleached, freshly bleached especially, I don't even go in with a volumizing product a lot of the time. So I actually need less product and I can focus more so on hydration, which is amazing. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. I want to get into the products because I think this is like really important. So some of these you've seen before, a lot of them are new. So I would say let's start off with the scalp because clarifying shampoos are something that I have used in the past, but I didn't use them every time I washed my hair. And I'm not necessarily using them every single time I wash my hair, but it is really important when you are someone who tends to be a little bit more greasy and also you use product in your hair. So some of the products that, and I think some of these I heard about from Abbey, are the Everpure sulfate-free L'Oreal Paris volumizing shampoo. Now, I made a serious effort to focus on volumizing shampoos. Excuse me, quiet please on set. I made a serious effort to focus on volumizing shampoos because I was like, okay, so my shampoo needs to be focused on my scalp. And my scalp, especially when my roots start to grow out, is real flat, okay? The hairs are flat. So I want to use something that is going to create a little bit more body. It's not going to weigh the hairs down as much. So the L'Oreal Everpure Volume Shampoo, the Way Fine Hair Shampoo is another one. I don't know, I can't remember if this is one that Abbey spoke about or I found somebody else who had fine hair who was talking about these products, but I had to specifically look for products that are sulfate free because I have an allergy to sodium lauryl sulfate. So I have to be extra careful when I am looking at any product that fluffs up, all right? If you want suds, sodium lauryl sulfate more likely than not is involved unless it's a sulfate-free product. So yeah, that's another thing that I am focusing on here that we will be talking about. So if you are someone who has an SLS allergy like I do, then these will be great recommendations for you. I'll be honest, I pretty much like these equally for the most part. I find neither of them to be particularly stripping. Again, they are meant to volumize the scalp. They're not necessarily clarifying shampoos, but I do find that these are, they get my hair, my scalp nice and clean. And I don't feel like I have to like go in twice, which like I don't have a lot of hair, so like mostly I don't have to do that anyway, but I don't feel like I have to do a double cleanse, in other words. And I think, does this contain salicylic acid? A lot of the time they contain salicylic acid, which is just nice for clarifying. I don't think this one does. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, so I like both of them, and I think that they lather really nicely, and they both have like pleasant scents. So these are the volumizing shampoos that I use probably like every other time I wash my hair. I would say unless I have a ton of product in my hair or I like really need a clarifying shampoo, this is what I'm using on my scalp. And I kind of just go between the two of them. As far as clarifying shampoo, I'm loving this one again from L'Oreal. This is the Everpure clarifying shampoo. So this is really, really great for, it says specifically for hard water exposure, removes residue and buildup. And I have a filter on my shower head, but the hard water in this building, I can't even tell you. So this is really, really great in general. I really like it a lot. It says it's clarifying complex with glycine. I don't know, dude. I'm not the expert here. Again, I highly recommend watching Abby's videos. They're very, very informative. But it has vitamin C. I mean, I don't care, whatever. I find it to be very, very cleansing, not in a drying way, which is fantastic. And I don't overdo it. I don't use it every single time I wash my hair. But I will say there are times when I use it, like 2 washes in a row, because I have a lot of product in my hair. And even when I do that, I don't find it to be particularly drying in any way. Does this have salicylic? This does contain salicylic acid, so that's nice. It also has benzoic acid. Yeah, I really like it. I think it's nice, and I like the scent of it. This is actually my second one, which is why it's like brand new looking. Yeah, it has a very like sort of citrusy scent to it. It's nice, and then also sulfate free, so perfection. But yeah, in terms of clarifying shampoo, I'm really, really liking this. I should mention, and you guys have seen this before, the Olaplex No. 4 Blonde Enhancer Toning Shampoo is the best purple shampoo in the entire world, okay? I've tried so many purple shampoos. I recently tried another one because I don't remember what happened. I like didn't have a purple shampoo and I had to like rush order it because I was like, I had gone blonde and then I didn't have a purple shampoo and I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? This is so good and it does not contain SLS. Got a hair on my thingy. It's so good. It doesn't stain. You don't have to sit there forever waiting for it to do the toning. I actually will just like mix it with my volumizing shampoo and I just like wash, do a deep like scrub of my scalp, and once I rinse, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm toned, like I'm all set. So I love this. I think it's the best purple shampoo that there is. So I had to mention that that has not changed in my routine. But yeah, especially if you're platinum, dude. Olaplex, I'm telling you, this one is so good. Before we get into hydration and bond repair and also heat protection, I just want to mention the color conditioner. This is from Caracolor. This is another one that is just like a necessity if you have platinum hair. This is a conditioner, cleanser, and toner all in one. So this is really good for between shampoos. And we'll get into like how often I shampoo in a second. But if you don't want to use shampoo and you want to use something a little bit more gentle on your hair, but maybe you need to rinse out like product or whatever it might be, maybe you just like forgot to use your purple shampoo last time you shampooed and you need to tone it. This is really good. It doesn't need to sit on your hair for long. It definitely does like a good amount of toning. Like it'll get your hair nice and bright. And it's basically like a conditioner consistency. So it's not stripping at all. Like it's just hydrating. It's really good for between shampoos. So I just wanted to mention that because it's just like an amazing product. Like I use it, I mean, I don't use it all the time, but I love using it between shampoos. So before we get into bond repair and hydration, I wanted to say that I do wash my hair probably every 2 to 3 days. So that has just been what has worked for me the best. I've gone through periods where I've gone longer, but when I wait too long, I've actually experienced like breakouts, like actual acne on my scalp before. So I stopped doing that. That really just comes down to like excess oil and excess products just like sitting on my hair. At night, I do sleep with a silk turban to like protect my hair. To make sure that like if my hair is dirty, that it's not getting all over my pillowcase and affecting my skin. Just saying, just throwing that out there. That's like information that isn't necessarily necessary to this video, but I thought I'd throw that out there because I could just picture all the people being like, oh my God, you go to sleep with dirty hair. Anyway, so I do wash my hair every like 2 to 3 days, and that will be determined basically by like, did I just blow dry my hair? Do I just have a heat protection in? Did I use a bunch of products? Do I have like a volumizing like texture spray? Do I have hairspray? Do I have pomade? If all of those things are not in my hair and maybe I only have a little bit of heat protection, then, and you know, I'm like mostly like bumming it around home, I don't have a ton of product in it, then I could go like 3 days. I don't like to go longer than that because my hair will get quite greasy. I'll need a lot of dry shampoo, and that buildup I find is just too much for my scalp. It just is. That being said, I will sometimes like on the 3rd day use a dry shampoo that day before I wash my hair. Okay. So I don't like to go too long. And that just happens to work for me because I have an oilier scalp. For my strands, now this is where it gets really important. First, I want to talk about the bond repair. So I have two products. One was a recommendation from Abby's videos, which is the Pantene Pantene Miracle Rescue Intense Bond Repair Mask. I love this. This is a game changer. This is fantastic. Basically, I use this as like my conditioner almost every single time I wash my hair. Now, this is obviously a post-wash product. So this is something that it's not a leave-in product, but it's post-wash. This is something that I really like to use on the days when I have freshly bleached hair. I'll take it down to the scalp almost, okay? To make sure that I am like treating every strand. Now it gets a little bit tough when you have a pixie because you only have so much length to your hair. The way that I apply this is I will flip my head upside down and I'll focus it on the ends first, and then I'll kind of like, move my way up towards the scalp so that I'm not overwhelming. So I don't want this to be sitting on my scalp to make my scalp oily, but I am trying to coat every like part of the strand because I want to make sure that I am repairing it, right? And I really love it. I think it's so great. It says to leave it on for like 5 to 7 minutes. I probably leave it on for like 3 to 5. Like I feel like 5 is my max because like I just can't be in the shower that long. Like I just can't. And it does the job. Like if you leave it on for just like a minute or two, you're not gonna see the results. So make sure that you are leaving it on for a decent amount of time. And whenever I do that, I just did that the other day when I washed my hair and it's perfect. It's so good for if you have bleached hair. Love this. For pre-wash treatment, I've talked about this before, the Apres Bond Repair Treatment. Fantastic. Obsessed with it. I love it so much. It's so good. It's pre-wash. So you do spray it onto dry hair, let it sit. You can like let it sit overnight. So it just depends on like how long. I feel like I would do at least 30 minutes, but I probably do more than that, like an hour or two. That's how I like to do it on like a hair wash day. Like, well, I'll spray it in my hair and then like go do the dishes or like clean or do laundry or whatever the hell. This, now you might be like, how do you decide which one you use? Like I said, I like to use this when my hair is freshly bleached. Right now, my roots are not grown out a lot, so this is what I'm using. Once my roots grow out a little bit, like to the point where you can see them, especially like, my hair is sort of like, I don't know, but in the back, like when this part is visible, because I don't want that to be greasy. That's when I use the pre-wash treatment, okay? When I use the pre-wash treatment, this is my bond repair. I'm not using any other bond repair. So I'm not using these on the same night. So that's the distinction between these two products. I love them both equally. Like I think that they're both fantastic. So if you only wanted to like choose one, then go for it. You know what I mean? If you have more fine hair and something like heavier in terms of moisture is just like, this is going to be like way too much for your hair, then I highly recommend this. And like vice versa. If you have very, very dry hair and you want like something that's going to be at the end of your like a post-wash treatment, it's great. Like it's so great. But I love them both. I use them both and I toggle between the two depending on basically my roots. My roots just determine everything. Another Abbey Yung product that I learned from her videos is the L'Oreal Elvive Hyaluron Plump. This is the 8-second Wonder Water. This is fascinating. I'm obsessed with this product. On the nights, I say nights because I shower at night. On the nights when I use a pre-wash bond repair and then I shampoo my hair, I like to use this as my conditioner. This is so fascinating. It's so fascinating. So basically like, and I don't pay attention to the dosage because I have basically no hair, so I don't need to use a lot of it, but it has hyaluronic acid. And I think, what else? It has something else in it. Is it glycolic acid? Oh, it has glycol. I don't know if that counts as glycolic acid. I'm not going to pretend that I know the ingredients, like everything about ingredients. So again, check out Abbey Yung's video. She's very in depth with that. She, in one of her recent videos, I think it was a recent video, where she was talking about like the levels of hydration of conditioning, she put this on like a higher end of like deeper conditioning. But what I like about this is it's literally called the 8-second Wonder Water. And what you're supposed to do is just like put it in your ends and sort of massage it into your hair and then rinse it out after 8 seconds. I'm obsessed with it. Because you don't like, I can just put it in for like, I mean, I probably do it for like 8 seconds and then I rinse it out. And it's just like my hair's instantly hydrated and not in a heavy way. Like I find it to be moisturizing, but not, it never makes my hair look greasy. That's why I like it so much. So it is literally like a water. The only annoying thing about that is that like it can be kind of hard to like put it in your hands. And then because I have short hair, I have to flip my head upside down and like, you know, do this to like work it into the ends. That's the only annoying thing. Like it's a lot easier if you have long hair and you're just kind of like, I mean, I don't really know. I pretend to know what it's like to have long hair. But yeah, it doesn't weigh my hair down. It's sulfate-free, silicone-free. It literally says no weigh down. Like it's so good. I love it so much. So this has replaced like basically any other conditioner or mask that I have ever used because of that. Like it's just so good and it just like works so well as a pair with these. And I'll even use it if I've used a clarifying shampoo. Like it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, I've used the clarifying shampoo and now this isn't moisturizing enough. It's great. Like it's so good. So all of these kind of like intersperse with each other. And then finally, I just wanted to talk about heat protection. This is the only place where I'm like, I don't know, like I'm not an authority on this. And this is not something that I learned from Abbey Yung, but heat protection is so important. And there isn't a single, this is the only heat protection spray that I've ever used that doesn't weigh my hair down. It's the Tresemme. Tresemme Keratin Smooth Blowout Heat Protection Spray. It protects up to 450 degrees, which I definitely not using that. Like I don't use any heat on my hair except for blow drying it, but gotta use heat protection. I notice such a massive difference in my hair if I'm not using heat protection. So I highly recommend using heat protection, but the ones that I've used in the past, like I went through this was like a off-camera situation where I was just like, I bought so many heat protectants, Googling like heat protectants, I don't know, that's so hard for me to say, for fine hair. And I would end up with like these oily heat protectants that were just like way too much and they weighed my hair down like crazy. This is the only one that doesn't do that. I find that it's moisturizing, like it's hydrating, and it prevents my hair from looking like dry and crusty when I blow dry it, but it doesn't weigh my hair down. It doesn't make it look greasy. And I appreciate that so much. And it's funny because there was another one that was like in a black bottle. I don't know if they make it anymore. That was even more like good for fine hair that I used to use in high school. Like I used it all through high school and I loved it, but I couldn't find it. So I don't know. This is like a little bit more moisturizing, which is fine because I'm back to platinum. So we need it. But I highly recommend heat protection. Please do not take that for granted, especially if you have bleached hair. Okay, so just to wrap up the importance of bond repair and not overdoing it, please remember that like you will damage your hair if you use bond repair too much. Like if you're using this, like if you go in with this and then you wash your hair and then you use this as your conditioner, and then you go in with like the K18 leave-in treatment, like you are going to ruin your hair. Okay, please don't do it. Don't do it, Barbara. Don't do it. Treating your scalp separately from your hair strands. If you are like me and you have very, very fine hair and you get an oily scalp, volumizing shampoos, clarifying shampoos, so good. You really got to clean that stuff, all right? You got to clean it. And then making sure that you are using the appropriate level of moisture for your hair strands to make sure that you are sealing in that hydration, protecting those bonds, making sure that nothing is like dry or breaks. Because one thing that I was nervous about from when I was going from red back to platinum was breakage, and I did not get any of it. So take care of your strands, okay? And that will include using a heat protection spray. When we use heat on our hair, it's not the end of the world. Like using heat on your hair is not the end of the world, but you do want to make sure that you are protecting it. And when you are applying your conditioner to a pixie, I highly recommend like trying to squeeze out as much water as you can and then just flip your head upside down and like put it on the kind of the way you would like a pomade, if you use pomade, and just run it like this through the tips of your hair. And then you can kind of like squeeze, you know, so that you're like working it into the strand, but you're not actually hitting your scalp. Because if you hit your scalp, it's probably gonna get greasier faster. All right, guys, that's everything that I learned from Abbey Yung. I'm very happy with my current routine. It's working beautifully. Like, I'm very happy with the state of my hair. Like I said, I got no breakage when I went back to platinum, which was quite the process. I mean, shout out to my girl who did it. Like, she just knows what she's doing. But also, my hair is very healthy. My hair is very, very healthy after all of that. So, highly recommend these products. Obviously, they'll be linked down below. Yeah, let me know if you guys check out Abbey Yung. I love her videos. I think they're great. And what your hair type is, what products. Like, if there's like a routine that's like so different from mine, let me know what your hair type is and why. You know what I mean? I gotta eat lunch. I'm hungry, dude. Bye.